Good afternoon and welcome from the Sedex Conference 2017. I'm Charlotte Durrant from Sedex and I'm joined today by Cornelia Gomez from Asia Inspection. Asia Inspection are our app sponsor this year on our new mobile app. Cornelia, thanks for joining us. I have a few questions for you, but first it would be really great if you could introduce yourself to the audience.
Yes, of course. So thanks for having us. I am the Ethical and Sustainability Advisor at Asia Inspection. So AI is a company, so we're active in 80 that does SMETA audits, as you know, but we also do other standards ethical audits, product inspection, lab testing. We're active in 85 countries today. So my role there is really to try to accompany clients in understanding better the challenges they're facing, helping them with the risk analysis and building coherent audit campaigns.
Great, thank you. Now my first question to you, Cornelia, was what are the main ethical trends that you observed in 2016, last year?
So I think we observed four major trends in 2016. The first one is that corporate governance is being driven more and more by regulation and the rule of law. So two significant examples are the Modern Slavery Act, obviously in the UK, but also a very important law in France has just passed a few days ago, called the due diligence law, and it is really driving now social compliance and ethical strategies. Another point that we've observed is that the conversation has shifted from very specific non-conformances to general concepts like forced labor and modern slavery, and this in time has led to scrutinizing more and more the Tier 2 and Tier 3 levels of the supply chain. And I'd say that another trend, this is something that derives from the conversations we have with our clients, is that they are less compliance. They have a less compliance-based approach and more risk-based approach.
Yeah.
So we have a very strong focus on due diligence. Where are my main risks? What are the main countries that are risky? What are the main product categories, and what can we do? And I'd say that the very positive trend is that something that we've been observing in the past 4 or 5 years, which is an increasing sharing of information, multi-stakeholder initiative, cross-industry initiatives. This has kept really reinforcing itself in 2016, and I think a very good example is the APSCA for audit companies. So we're also participating in this great initiative whereby really audit companies are empowering themselves to kind of take the conversation back into their hands and trying to push for a common level, a common ground in terms of quality level and accreditation.
Yeah, Sedex is also involved in APSCA, and really great initiative. So looking forward now, in the face of recent geopolitical and trade events, what would you say are the new risks that businesses need to be aware of and steer clear of in 2017, this year?
So I think I'll make a more geographical based reply here, and I'll just stave off from the whole conversation regarding the United States and protectionism, because really the effects are not clear yet, even though we've talked a lot about it and we've heard a lot about it during the conference. I'd say that in Europe, a major risk that is, I think, really going to hit us quite strongly in 2017 is the aftermath of the Syrian conflicts and other civil strifes in the Middle East, with a massive amount of undocumented, very qualified but undocumented workers who are eager to work for pretty much nothing. And this has led to a strong increase in child labor, non-conformances, minimum wage issues, and one of the most classic topic being the lack of work permits due to the urgency of the situation. And really the questions that I think must be asked here is how fast are the governments local governments, for example Turkish governments, going to adapt, and what can be done if, for example, a Sedex member, where it is a B, or supplier, if this happens, how should he react, and what is the level of tolerance that can be given on this kind of topic. Second big risk, I would say, in Asia, is that the increase of workforce cost in China, with the steady increase of minimum wages, is leading to really two big risks in China: higher overtime. So really, suppliers trying to circumvent the increase of the increase of costs, so with overtime, paying less, not respecting the comprehensive way of our systems, and in neighboring countries, really this new outsourcing trends in Myanmar, Bangladesh, and even Africa. We've mentioned it yesterday. It's very interesting, and so. What is I think that we should really question what is going to happen in those countries to avoid the situation 15 years ago in China, of a developing country.
You mentioned due diligence earlier. I wanted to probe a bit more into that. How do you think a brand can translate its supply chain due diligence into reality? How do they make that happen?
Well, I think that the first step, so we're meeting here a lot of Sedex members who are doing audits and with a very good standard. And I think the whole topic here is, once you've, the first steps are well known now. So where am I producing? What are the risks based on where and what I'm producing? Wanting to minimize the risk through audits, so the baseline, which is audits, and then trying to, based on the photography that those members get, what can be done in terms of continuous improvement, factory improvement, follow-up of the corrective action plan. So I think this is something that's very positive today, is that the continuous improvement, desktop review, CAP follow-up are not weird words anymore. It's been used a lot. I've heard it a lot in the past few days. However, I think that the best a key success factor is to always keep a global approach, and global, a very holistic approach. So instead of sprinkling audits around, looking at the results, asking for one or two improvements, we always, from our clients' perspective, we see it's always more efficient and sustainable if it's integrated in a global approach. And so really trying to minimize the risk, but also bring something positive back into the system, and this really can be calculated today with metrics. So for example, initial audit, 30% red, coming back 6 months later, 10% red. This is a very positive improvement, and this should really be monitored as best as possible.
Great. Thank you very much for being with us today. Cornelia Gomez from Asia Inspection, our app sponsor. You are watching the Sedex conference live. We've got more live interviews coming up shortly, so do stay with us.